Hi, this is Gautam. For today's episode, we're going to look at this book, The Beekeeper of Aleppo by author Christy Lefteri. Now, the author has tried not to capture a tale of migration, but a tale of enforced refuge, loss, and succeeds mostly in this quest. The story toggles between both the past and the present. Now, in the present, we see Nouri, the beekeeper from Aleppo, and his wife Afra, who used to be an artist, trying to get through the immigration offices in London. At the same time, we see in one more chapter Nouri and his close cousin Mustafa, who inspired him to take up beekeeping, both of them in the city of Aleppo, very happily residing with their families. Now, at the start, the author does take the risk of revealing to the reader that something bad has happened, and because of the situation, because of the civil war in Syria, we see Nouri and Afra migrating towards United Kingdom. But the point to be noted is what the author doesn't reveal is that as the toggling between chapters go, even though we know that the two main characters of our particular story who make the perilous journey are safe, what the author doesn't reveal during the story is that in every chapter, what could be the sense of challenges and vulnerability which they faced when they crossed over the mountains of Turkey, then the city of Istanbul, then the Sea of Marmara, and then the country of Greece, and finally to reach London. Now, this is not a tale of suffering, but it's more about the inability of the refugees to overcome the feeling of rootlessness. Now, clarity on this is not associated with the phenomenon of rootlessness, which we usually describe when a migrant, an economic migrant, moves from one place to another voluntarily in search of opportunities. He does miss his family. There is more depersonalization and all that. But this feeling of rootlessness is different because it is enforced upon people that due to civil war, they are forced to migrate. They are forced to, completely not reveal the identity in several locations without which they cannot travel. And beyond a point of time, there is this question of who exactly they are because they have moved away from that homeland. That theme is dealt in detail by the author. Not just that, we also see that when it comes to dealing with shell shock, for which we have a very refined term today, post-traumatic stress disorder, it is not necessary that individuals will try to deal with shell shock the same way. In the story, we see the characters Nouri and Afra dealing with stress and the feeling of rootlessness totally differently. The choice of a beekeeper suffering in the story is the most obvious metaphor, as humans and bees have a lot in common. The two species are good in organization and building colonies and civilization out of hard labor. They are known for their resilience, yet they are sensitive to external changes. Similar to the colony collapse disorder, man is vulnerable to numerous factors which affect the economic and political system which he has created. The author has further tried to make the story more inclusive by including people from different nationalities who try to come from London, people from Somalia, a character from Ivory Coast, and there is one character who is oft repeated, but we simply refer to him as the Moroccan man, and Afghan women, and etc. So many other characters. Now, this is more of a reflection of the present day political scenario in several countries in North Africa and the Middle Eastern region. A good significant number of the countries are in a civil war, and there is no proper result in the end that there will be stability or a proper government which will make sure that the food security or unemployment or the basic issues of survival are taken care. And it has to be accepted that one way or the other, this crisis will continue for several years, and it will continue to plague Europe. The political scenario in Africa and the Middle Eastern region will naturally spill over to Europe, and it will continue for several more years to come. The author is trying to keep her writing simple, but out of the blue, there are wonderful, tasty lines which intrude, and that really makes things surprising. When you finish the novel, what reminds one is that not just feel one with the refugees who are present in different parts of the world, not just from Syria, but also the fact that it also gives a sense of appreciation of one's own life, because there is a sense of stability if you're watching this video. That's it for today's review. Meet you in the next one pretty soon. Bye for now.